Well, good morning, everyone. I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes until it is actually 9 a.m. Pacific time. But good morning, and thanks for joining us, and we'll get started shortly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Again, good morning to anybody that just joined. My name is Angel Gonzalez. I'm the Education Manager here at Shortcuts USA. For those of you that don't know me, I do see some familiar names on the list today, so hello to everyone out there. So you guys, today's webinar is called Point of Sale Back to Basics, and basically we just wanted to, again, take a step back and just show you some of the little tricks and things at the point of sale that maybe you've forgotten or just, never got trained on or never needed up until now. Okay, so Point of Sale Back to Basics. Okay, so again, just a little bit of housekeeping at the beginning of each webinar. The duration, about 30 minutes plus 10 minutes for Q&A. It might even be a little shorter than that because, again, we just have some tips and tricks for the point of sale today. My microphone is on and everyone else is automatically muted. Also, your speakers need to be turned on to hear this webinar. So if you're not hearing me yet, hopefully you've realized that the webinar has started and you're going to turn those speakers on now. I am happy to take questions during and at the end of the webinar. So you can use your chat box or your questions box to send me questions. So I will pause throughout the webinar to check just to make sure that everybody's good throughout. If it's a question that I feel is better answered at the end, then I'll just ask you to table that and then ask me at the end as well. Also, you guys remember that if you have any further questions, you can always post them to our Facebook page. And so it's facebook.com/shortcutsusa. And so someone's always checking that out and monitoring that. So if you have questions, feel free to put them there as well. All right, so the learning outcomes for today. So in this session, you'll learn the following. So how to quickly add services and products to the point of sale screen, how to take petty cash and manage that at your point of sale, how to amend a completed sale, so if you need to change an employee or a payment type, how to process group transactions, and how to quickly find a client for a transaction, and also how to track discounts. All right, so adding products and services quickly to the point of sale. So you can see that we have a few hotkeys here. Okay, so you can see F2. Okay, so this ties into our top services, and if you have a single top service configured in the point of sale, and I'll show you just a moment how to do that, if you click that F2 button or that function button at the top of your keyboard, it's going to automatically add that service to your point of sale. If you have multiple top services configured and you hit F2, it'll actually pop up the top service selection list and allow you to select a service from that list. Okay, so if you have services that are often add-on services or services that you often need to add on to a client's transaction, then you can add those to your top services, and this is a little shortcut, no pun intended, on how to add that to your point of sale there. Okay, of course the F3 for the product search. So if you're not using a barcode scanner and you need to add that product manually, one of the ways to do that quickly is to simply at the point of sale click the F3 button, so again that function button, and it'll pop up a search box, and we'll look at that in just a moment as well, and you're able to search. Okay, and then of course the F5, so if your barcode scanner simply doesn't want to scan the barcode, you can hit F5 and you can key in the barcode that's on the product. Okay, and then of course I always want to include one of the most important F1 function keys, which is your user guide. If you click F1 when you're in shortcuts, it will actually open up your user guide. All right, so I'm going to take you into shortcuts and I'm going to show you a couple of those things. Okay, so first I just want to show you how to configure a top service. Okay, so if I go into my setup and I go into my services, you'll notice that I do actually have my blow dry with service already configured as a top service. Okay, but if I want to add any services into that, all I have to do is click on the little block next to the service name and then drag it in there. Okay, but I want to show you how it functions when I just have one top service configured. Okay, so on my appointment book here, I'm going to go ahead and check out Angel. Okay, and it's taking just a moment. Okay, so with that color, I also want to charge her for a blow dry with service, which is what I have actually configured as my single top service. So when I click F2, you'll notice that it automatically adds that to the point of sale for me, and I can give that a price. Pretty cool, right? Okay, now I'd like to show you if I have multiple services configured there, what it looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to go and I'm going to add another service. Of course, you guys know that sometimes when I make changes to the configuration that it may require me to exit out of shortcuts, but I'm going to try it without now. So I'm just going to click F2. So in this situation, when I click F2, because I have multiple services configured, what it does is it pops me straight into the top services list so I can choose a service. All right. Any questions about that there? Okay, looks like I might, so give me just a second. Oh, it looks like someone's actually having some sound issues. Is everyone able to hear me okay? Lorinda, if you're on and there, can you hear me okay? Everybody, I think everybody is okay. Okay, great. Just checking that. Perfect. Thank you, guys. All right, so I'm going to actually go ahead and clear this transaction now. Okay, so I'm just removing the client. All right, so the next one is the F3. So making sure that I can search for a product. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Mr. Tony here. And if I hit F3, you can see that it says product search, and it'll actually allow me to start typing in what it is that I'm looking for. Okay, so I want the Crew pomade, so I start typing that in, and you can see that it pulls up for me. So I can just simply click on that and then click done, and it will add it to my point of sale. Okay, so instead of actually having to go into the product list, I can actually just F3 and search for my product, or I can click F5 and I can type in the barcode. Okay, let's see, do I have a barcode? I guess I should have done that, huh? Let me just go program a barcode really quick for us. Oh, look at that, how convenient. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so I can type in the barcode and then it'll just pull that up for me as well. Okay, and then again, don't forget that last one that I said, which is F1, which when I do that, you guys, it'll load my user guide. So always remember that you have that accessible pretty much at all times when you're working in shortcuts. Okay, looks like I just have another question here. I'm just going to check quickly. All right, any questions about the function keys? F1, F2, F3, or F5? All right, perfect. So the next section is to talk about petty cash. So in the event that somebody in the store needs to take money out of the drawer to go purchase lunch for the salon, or maybe to go purchase some supplies because we ran out of coffee or creamer or toilet paper, God forbid. Okay, so how to properly do that is down here at the bottom at the point of sale, you'll notice that I have that no sale button. So when I click on no sale, in there you'll see I have take petty cash. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose take petty cash. And then all it wants to know at this moment is how much are you taking? Okay, so that just wants to know how much is the employee or yourself taking out of the drawer to go use at the store. So I'm going to say $20. Okay, that's all you have to do when you take the petty cash is just tell Shortcuts how much you're taking. Okay, so at this point, we would assume that the employee would go away, right? They'd go to the store and they'd buy whatever it is that they need. And then when they came back, they'd log back into the system. And then again, down here at the bottom, I would go to no sale. Okay, and in there, I would choose return petty cash. Okay, by default, it will be highlighted. You guys, you really shouldn't have a time where you have multiple outstanding cash outs at a time. I would always recommend that when you have petty cash or things like this, that they get taken out and returned in the same day. So returned meaning what I'm doing right now. So I'm choosing, again, return petty cash, and this one right here, and then done. And then what it wants to know what it is that I spent it on. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say that some of it was general groceries because I needed coffee and creamer. Okay, and I spent $10.23 on that. Okay, and then I also bought some fresh food because we actually serve some berries and things in the waiting area. Okay, so I just bought one package of that. Okay, and then I choose done. Okay, and then you can see here that I took the $20. That's what I originally took. The amount that I owe based upon what I spent is $15.48. So it actually wants me to return the $4.52 back into the drawer. Okay, so when I choose end sale, okay, it will again, you must return $4.52 to the till and deposit any expense receipts. Okay, and then choose done. So Shortcuts will actually print a receipt for this expense for you, so you can take your receipts from the store and actually attach them to the Shortcuts receipt. Okay, and then of course there's a report for this. Okay, looks like I may have a question, so give me just a moment. For anybody that's still having issues with the sound, you might try disconnecting and reconnecting. It's possible that you already tried that, but sometimes just getting a reconnection to the webinar will work. Also remember that it will be recorded, so I apologize again if you can't hear it, but we will record it and it'll be up on YouTube. So again, you probably can't hear that, but I'll go ahead and message you that as well. Okay, so any questions about that process of the petty cash? Okay, it looks like everyone's all right. Now, you guys, in the event that you didn't take money out of the drawer to go buy the item, say, for instance, you were running the errand before you came in the morning, and so what you need to do is you need to actually ring that into shortcuts, but you didn't take the money out and return it, so there's another way to do that. Okay, so over here at the point of sale, up on the top on the left, you'll notice that I have my clients button, so I'm going to go in there. Okay, and what I want is I actually do just want this pound expense option. Okay, so when choosing that pound expense, what it does is it brings it up to the point of sale, and then I can then account for what I purchased at the point of sale by simply adding it. So I'm going to go ahead and click in this first free sale line, and then again, you'll notice that same window appears when I was choosing return petty cash. So again, maybe I stopped to get flowers for the waiting area in the morning. Okay, and I spent $12. Okay, so what it's telling you is that you actually need to remove $12 from the drawer in order to be able to balance the drawer, because you're saying that I used $12 out of my own pocket, and then I want to actually take that out of the drawer now. Okay, and like I explained, there is a report. So if I go into Tools and Reports, underneath your end of day, you guys, you have the Cash Movements Report. Okay, so I'm just going to view that here for today. Okay, so here you can see when I took out my petty cash and then when I returned the remaining amount. One moment. Looks like we have a question. All right. Sorry, you guys, just answering a question there. I'm going to go ahead and choose Done. So another little trick that I want to show you is if you do have clients waiting to check out, there is a very simple way to actually search for their name. Okay, so you can see that I have Tony and Roger Rabbit here waiting to check out. So if I go back to my point of sale, in this area, if I just simply start typing their name, you can see that it actually pulls that client up for me. Okay, so I simply highlighted the area up here where their names are, and then I just typed in R, and it pulled up that client automatically for me. Okay, and then what it's asking me here is it's just asking me to confirm some details for Roger and to capture details that I don't have for him. Oh, whoops. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add some product onto his sale here. Okay, and I'm going to check him out. Okay. Now the next thing that we want to take a look at is we want to take a look at after a sale is actually complete, how can I make changes to that sale? So for instance, if I've rang it under the wrong employee or the wrong student, or if I've selected an incorrect payment type. So if I go up into the transactions list at my point of sale up here on the top on the right, you can see that I have a completed transaction for Roger Rabbit, okay, and that Debbie is responsible for giving that blow dry, and also she's the one that's showing credit for the shampoo as well. But maybe actually the receptionist sold the shampoo to her, and so that's the person who should really be getting credit for that. Okay, so if I click on that line item, down at the bottom, my employee option lights up. Okay, so when I click on that option, I can actually choose somebody else as being responsible for the sale. Okay, these are reasons here that can be configured. So basically, it's just popping up and asking me why I'm modifying the transaction. Okay, wrong employee selected, incorrect payment type entered, and so on. Okay, and then you can see it just changes it out and gives that the correct employee credit. Now the other thing that I can modify for a transaction is the payment type. But for those of you that have integrated credit cards, obviously changing the credit card payment type isn't necessary because it actually picks up that credit card type right away. So this is for people that have a standalone credit card terminal and accidentally enter in Visa instead of MasterCard, or for those of you that still do accept checks if you entered in check and it should have been cash or vice versa. Okay, so up here at the top, if I click on the line item where it says that this person paid cash, down here at the bottom, I can actually select that payment and I can change it to something else. So the cash was actually 0 because they didn't pay cash. So if I click here, I can 0 that out. So the rest of my payment types open up. So I can actually click on check and specify that it was check instead. Okay, so again, it wants a reason for adjusting the transaction. Okay, so now I have the correct employee getting credit for the shampoo, and I have the correct payment type. So you guys, it's not uncommon, especially if your store is busy, for these kinds of adjustments to need to be made, especially to make sure that our drawer balances and also that we're giving credit to the correct people, especially when we're talking about commissions and things like that. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about grouping two people or multiple people into a single transaction at the point of sale. So I'm actually going to go ahead and book another appointment here. Okay, so just booking a couple appointments here. Wow, this angel girl's doing a lot of barber cuts today. All right. So at my point of sale, because I've marked, oh, those clients arrived, you can see that each of them sits in my drop-down list waiting to check out. Okay, so if I want to group people together, what I need to do is I need to choose the pound group option right here. And then you can see that anybody that is in my point of sale list shows up in my group section. So all I need to do is click on the little block next to anybody that's part of this group. So Tony and Shane are in a group together, meaning that they're going to check out together in one transaction. So you can see here that after I group them together, it puts them side by side and it gives me a group total. Okay, so I can still see each of them individually. So Shane at $40, okay, and then Tony at $83.20, okay, and then again as a group. So if I need to apply a discount, or if either of them needs to buy a product, I do need to do that in their individual sales. Okay, so I'm going to go to Shane here because he needs to buy a product. Okay, and then I'm going to click F3 so I can search for that product. He's going to buy the same product that Tony's buying, which is the Crew Pomade 3 ounce. Okay, so I've added that to my sale, and then when I go back to the group, you can see that it's updated my group total. Give me just a second. It looks like we have a question. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what the question was. You guys remember you can use the question or the chat box. All right, so again with our group transaction here, I have the group total, and then now I can actually use one payment type to check them out. Okay, so Tony's going to pay for both of them, and he gives me cash of $150. Okay, any questions there? Probably some of you know how to group already, but we have changed the functionality just a little bit. So if you had any questions, hopefully that helped you out there. All right, so the next thing that we want to take a look at is we want to take a look at the discount reason breakdown report, okay? Because this is something that, again, when we're using discounts and things, we want to make sure that we're tracking and also monitoring what discounts are being used and who's using them and things like that. Okay, so another trick for the point of sale is to make sure that you're monitoring your discounts. So in Tools and Reports, and then I'm just going to go into my transaction section, and you'll notice that I have discount reason breakdown and discount reason by employee. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the first one. And I'm going to run it for the current month because I don't have as much data in my database as you guys would. Always remember, you guys, anytime you have the next option, just to see what it's offering you. Okay, and it just wants to know if we want to show detail. So if you do want it, we say yes. Okay, so you can see here that over the date range that I've chosen, I've done 2 of my $5 color flyers, and I've done 1 of my set and forget birthday emails. Okay, so it tells me how much the discount was and also the amount that I received there. Okay, just a moment here. We have a question. Okay, Susie, since we've already gone past that section, what I can do is I can answer that question at the end. Susie just has another question about grouping, so you guys will review that just at the end here. All right, so there's our discount reason breakdown report. You guys, especially if you have discounts in there like complimentary and, you know, a manager-only discount, because remember, if they have access to discounts, they have access to all discounts. You just want to make sure that they're not being abused and not being used too much. So also, I can run the discount reason by employee report. Okay, again, I'm just going to run it for the current month to make sure we get some data in here. Okay, so choose which items to group by. So we want to do the employee and the discount reason. Okay, so you can see here that it actually shows me if I go in to the side over here which employees are actually responsible for giving the discount. And if I, okay, so over here, so I can drill down or go to that next page and I can see that information, or it's actually lower on that same page. It tells me which employee is doing it. Okay, so how I got to that discount reason breakdown report again is in your tools menu, you want to go to reports, transactions, and then discount reason breakdown. And again, you guys, you can also run the discount reason breakdown by employee to see who's doing what. Okay, and it can be run for any time period. Okay, so again, we just want to look at what are the popular discounts, the amount given versus the amount received, right? Because we want to make sure that the discounts are still actually bringing us money in, because that's the point. Okay. So the hot tip is that discount value should never be more than a third of the revenue or the received value. Okay, so the summary, again, you guys, what you should know after today is how to easily add products and services to the point of sale by using your function keys, how to process petty cash, how to make changes to a completed sale for an employee or a payment type, grouping transactions together, searching for clients quickly at the point of sale, and tracking discounts. Okay, so this is our section for Q&A, so if you guys do have questions, and I'm going to go ahead and answer Susan's question now. If I can find it again. I think the question was, what if we have multiple stylists? So when you group a transaction together, keep in mind that either the client would be booked on the appointment book. So for instance, if I had Tony booked with Angel and then I had Shane booked with Debbie, and then I had Tim booked with Paul, all with different stylists. When I group them together, the credit still stays against the person that they were booked with or scheduled against. Same thing if you're using the walk-in manager. So when you check them in to service in the walk-in manager, you put them into service with a particular stylist or a particular barber. So either way, when you group them together, they still stay with the person that they were booked with or scheduled with. I hope that answers your question, Susie. Any other questions, you guys? Good question, Jessica. When doing the petty cash, if you use the pound expense, do you need to end sale? The answer is yes. Sorry, I didn't actually completely walk through that full transaction. The answer is absolutely. You do just need to click end sale and complete the transaction. Yvonne, the question about how to use a walk-in manager, that's probably something that you would need some separate training on. So you can contact the office and ask to speak to your business development representative, and they can talk to you all about that. The next question is, will we have the opportunity to review the seminar? Absolutely. So each of our webinars are always recorded and put up onto the YouTube channel. This one might take a little bit longer because our marketing person is actually taking some vacation in Paris right now. But as soon as she gets back, we'll get it up on the YouTube page. Okay, just a little bit more information here for you guys. Don't forget our next webinar, which will be Monday, September 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So for you East Coasters, remember 12 o'clock your time, and for the Central time, 11 o'clock your time, and Mountain time, 10 o'clock your time. Okay, so it'll be on holiday marketing. So just some tips and tricks for what to do during the holiday season with gift cards and promotions and things like that. And remember, you can always register or take a look at all the webinars that are available at shortcuts.net/webinars. And you guys, here is the link to where you would, it's actually just youtube.com/shortcutsusa. I don't know why that user is in there. So Yvonne, in regards to your question about gift cards, Shortcuts can handle processing gift cards or gift certificates. We can do either. Okay, and then of course, you guys, for everybody, here's my information. The easiest way to contact me is always via email, so it's just angel@shortcuts.net. And again, the Facebook information, so if you'd like to post anything to our Facebook, it's just facebook.com/shortcutsusa. And then our website. And then you guys, there's just the phone numbers to the office in case you want to, contact us about anything. Okay, anybody have any more questions today? Yvonne, again, regarding your question about the gift cards, if you'd like to get gift cards set up and configured, it's definitely something that we could help you do. All you need to do is just give the office a call and talk to your business development representative. So you can just call this 714-622-6600 or the number below and just ask to talk to business development. Okay, I think that looks like all the questions for today. You guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join our webinar. Again, don't forget the next one is Monday, September 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you want to join us for that one as well. And then don't forget that they're always all recorded on the YouTube channel. Thank you everybody so much for your time today. And if you have further questions, again, just post them to the Facebook page or go ahead and send us an email. Thank you everybody and have a great rest of your Monday.